Good morning once again. The first point that we try to reflect on is that of hospitality and generosity. No? Our hospitality and generosity will turn into a blessing. When you are hospitable, when you are generous to others, it will return to you as a blessing. Even if you have just enough and still you can afford to share, it will turn into a blessing. The stories of the first readings, because actually this is also the topic yesterday in the first reading, the hospitality of Abraham to the strangers when he welcomed them, offered them their needs, food, shelter. And it was in this moment that actually the blessing was delivered, because the stranger turned out to be God. And the blessing was for them, Abraham and Sarah, to have a child even in their old age. In the first reading today, a prominent woman welcomed the prophet Elisha. She welcomed him with his needs and shelter. And it was at this moment that the blessing was delivered to the woman. So there is something that we can be hospitable even to God Himself. That we can be hospitable and welcoming to God. He comes through strangers, through friends, through our neighbors, to those who are in need. And sometimes the blessing is delivered right there and there. The gift of listening. No? Again, I would like to stress that listening. When you are welcoming, when you are hospitable, you don't talk too much. You try also to listen to the visitor. Where is he come from? Why did he come? What is his purpose? Does he has any concern? And it's the same with God. God has many concerns on us. He has many things to talk about with us. And when He comes, we need to listen. And that is what we lacked actually. What is missing in our spiritual life? We lack the gift of listening. We don't listen to God. We just want to be listened to, but we don't listen to Him. And it's the same with the people who are used by God as instruments or messengers. People who would come to us. Can we spend a time, a space for other people to come to us? Are we patient enough to listen to them? Even to the family members. Do we spend time listening? Do we listen to our children? God delivers His messages to other people, to strangers, to our neighbors, and we need to listen. And sometimes the blessing comes in the listening. The blessing comes in the listening. It is nice to extend help. It is nice to be generous. Sometimes it will not translate into material things, but the gift, the edifying effect, that sense of meaning and joy to be able to listen, to be able to help, is a blessing in itself. And that is one that we can try to reflect on. Are we hospitable and generous enough to God and to our neighbors, to our loved ones? The second point is, our God presents Himself as a selfish God. When I read the Gospel, I felt uneasy because He said, whoever loves his father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. And that is something. The past days, last week, I was talking about family relationships, parents, children, especially children. Parents spending more time with their children, listening to their children. Are they aware of what's going on with their children? What they are doing in school and with the barkadas? And now, here comes Jesus saying, whoever loves his father, mother more than me is not worthy of me. But trying to search backwards, few verses backwards from this gospel, it says there, do not assume that I come to bring peace, but division. Father against son, mother against daughter. And the context was, of course, when Jesus came, they have to make a choice to remain in their own belief or to choose Jesus. And during the time, it was really difficult. It was a struggle. And families were really broken because they were put in a situation whether to choose Jesus or to remain in their own faith, Judaism. And it was difficult. It really made a division. But Jesus said, it's either me or nothing at all. It is me or nothing at all. If you have to make sacrifices, if you have to carry your cross because of that, then carry that cross. Because of me. There was this mother who had a drug addict son. Many advised her to send the son to a rehabilitation center. But the mother, because she is the only son, does not like to let go of the son. She wants to keep him with her in the house. But the son is so destructive because sometimes he is out of his right mind and this destroys many things, even the properties of the neighbors. And she has to pay a lot of money because of that. And the son became a disturbance to the community. He has to make a choice. Should I make a sacrifice of letting go of this son for the sake of the family, for the sake of the community? These are two choices. And she has to sacrifice her being a mother to the son and send the son to the rehab. It's either or nothing. You have to make a choice. It's a choice between to remain in sinfulness or to choose to live in grace. And for some people, it's a difficult struggle. And if it would mean a sacrifice, it would mean to carry a cross, then carry the cross of sacrificing. But for some people, they cling on their sinfulness. They cling on their vices and cannot sacrifice. It's just like the struggle to lose weight and to undergo a strict diet, a struggle. Which is which? Should I make the sacrifice? Sacrifice with a meaning. It's not suffering for the sake of suffering. You suffer, you sacrifice because there is a purpose. There is a meaning why I am doing this. Discipleship means to stand for Jesus. And there's no other choice. It's just Him. It's just Him. And the invitation for us, because I think we can endure suffering, sacrifice when it comes to our loved ones. Parents can easily sacrifice to work hard for the children, to work hard for the family. This is for them. There is the sense of purpose, the sense of meaning, why I have to do all these sacrifices, why I have to carry all these crosses that I have to endure. And we are good in that. Because of that's why we are appreciated. Filipinos are really a sacrificing nation for the sake of their families. But sometimes we fail to do that when it comes to our community as a whole, our nation as a whole. When it comes to the return is not so clear. The return, the blessing that you are talking about is not so concrete that goes to us personally, because the blessing and the return of the blessing will go to the whole community and not just to us personally. So my brothers and sisters, in this liturgy of this Sunday, 13th Sunday of the liturgical calendar of our church, we are reminded once again. The first reading is beautiful. Being hospitable. hospitable to God, hospitable to our neighbors, and being generous. For sure, it will translate into a blessing. The other is, our God is selfish. He wants us to choose Him alone. He doesn't want us to go astray, to separate from Him, but to remain with Him. He is a selfish God. Amen.